That's how that shit works, man. For your initial question, anybody who is like, yo, you wanna improve on your confidence and shit like that, it's really just a mental training.
Yeah.
Because it didn't happen like overnight for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just a mental training of, yo, I'm the shit. I wake up as a 32-year-old man, I wake up every morning, and as I'm driving to work or whatever I do, before I text anybody, before I look at my phone, anything, I find some solitude and I just affirm myself. I say a whole bunch of positive shit. Because in my mind, that's energy that you're bringing into yourself and putting out.
Yeah.
I teach my daughter to do the same shit. She wakes up, yo, can I get my iPad? Yeah, you can get your iPad after you go to the mirror and you say that shit I told you to say. It's just it's you know, and she's gonna be 4 in June, so it's like I'm starting her. Because I never got that. Not to say that my parents were like never, not that they never wanted it, but they probably never thought of it.
I had a like going off what you're saying, I had a therapist once tell me, he's like, listen, Andrea, he's like, if you can anxiously come up with all these ideas about why you suck,
right,
why don't you just create all these ideas why you're awesome? Because you're fantasizing either way.
Right.
He's like think of all the pieces of shit out there that think they're the shit and they're not. He's like, I'm not saying that's you. He's but he's like saying like
that mind
he's
state.
saying like your anxious thoughts like about how you suck and you can't do this, you don't deserve this, like those are just your thoughts. He's like, so why don't you just have thoughts about the other thing and just go with it? So you've kind of actually, now that we're like talking about this, you've like mastered that. You've kind of like, now that I'm kind of breaking it down, like your confidence and why you don't have very many inhibitions, you have loose inhibitions on stage. I feel like you've actually mastered the art of like changing your mindset, which is fucking, that's badass. Like that's kind of like what everybody wants to do, you know?
It's literally, I think that what drove me to that was, and I don't even know when I started doing it, but I've been doing it at least for like, it has to be for like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's just, I really don't even remember what started me doing it, but I was like, at some point in my life, I felt like it was just good to wake up and before you communicate with anybody, of course, if I wake up, somebody say good morning, I ain't finna be like, don't talk to me until I, say this positive shit to myself. Yeah. That's some asshole shit. But as far as engaging in real conversation, man, I think it's when my dad started like kind of just telling me about like history and, how before, slavery in the country and shit like that, like how like kind of like if you were native in like a African thing or even the natives here, maybe, there was a connection to the universe. And so I think from that's when I used to do it like outside every morning. I would go outside and I would just sit in the sun. Indians. Well, I don't know if Indian style is politically correct nowadays.
I don't think it is anymore. But we know it's
I don't even know how else to call it.
Pretzel legs. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. So I would go out and sit like that as like a grown man in the middle of some grass and just be in the sun and just be like, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm blah 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 blah. And then over the years, more affirmations come and things like that, and then you create goals for yourself, and then you just keep repeating them to yourself so that it's like focus and all types of shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it's literally just in like I don't want to say the black community because that sounds trendy, but in the black community, that's what they call like knowledge of self. Like you kind of know where you come from pre the slavery shit that we're only taught. Once you kind of know that, then it's like, all right, well, let me see what this connection to the universe is really about. And then you start seeing things getting rippled towards you where it's just like, yo, not because I'm not superstitious, I'm not none of that shit, but there is a way of thinking, where I feel like in some way you mentally control your universe.